The original Mass Effect trilogy is one of the most successful sci-fi RPG series of all time, both critically and commercially. This year we saw the release of the fourth game in the Mass Effect series, Mass Effect Andromeda. But does Andromeda live up to the legacy of its predecessors? Find out in my review. Enjoy. The story of Mass Effect Andromeda revolves around one of the two Ryder twins, by default named Sarah and Scott. The twin you choose, I chose Sarah, unknowingly becomes the pathfinder of an expedition to the Andromeda galaxy when her father passes away unexpectedly. As pathfinder, Sarah becomes somewhat of a captain to a crew exploring the galaxy and trying to make a new home for mankind beyond the Milky Way. It's a story which rings loudly and true of Gene Roddenberry and of the philosophy behind the Star Trek series, and Mass Effect Andromeda executes this philosophy rather expertly. To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before. And Andromeda does go, boldly even, and it does so with a style and flair that I have not seen outside the original Star Trek series. It has that authentic Star Trek feel, and it really does feel like Sarah is bravely stepping forth and exploring uncharted planets. Not out of the interest to conquer them, but out of the pursuit of knowledge and science. And that's what makes Andromeda's themes and atmosphere so goddamn great. However, the greatness stops here. Because a good story, strong themes, and powerful notes of Roddenberry do not make a good game. And no matter how bright and tingly these feelings of going boldly make me feel, Mass Effect Andromeda has a whole slew of problems working against it. First, let's talk about the gameplay. If Andromeda is one thing, it is boring. And no matter how good the story, atmosphere, or characters and their relationships are, this is a video game. The operative word being game. And a game is supposed to be fun, engaging, and captivating in some way relating to gameplay. And all you will find in Mass Effect Andromeda, unfortunately, is monotony. The combat is passable, the shooting, well, the shooting works. The game is just a generic, bland, passable space shooter. Sure, you have this cool scanner that you use to identify everything in this unknown galaxy, and learn more about the flora and fauna and technology you encounter, sort of like a Pokédex of everything. But for the most part, gameplay goes like this. Land on a planet, fight some bad guys at point A, go to point B, when you get to point C you fight robots, you solve a Sudoku puzzle, rinse and repeat. It's pretty boring, and it's what I would call the quote-unquote Ubisoft method, where you're just playing to get to the next area, not because you like the gameplay or the area you're in, but because you need to advance. It's boring, it's lazy, and it's not really all that engaging. Embarrassingly enough, I actually dozed off during my initial excursion to the planet Eos. A game shouldn't put you to sleep, but that's what Andromeda does. But wait, this is also a BioWare game, so you know what that means. Lots of dialogue trees and the illusion of choice. Some quote-unquote role-playing where you choose to either be a Johnny Law or a mustache-twirling bad guy.
Yep. Ever told on a nigga? Nope. Ever squeezed a trigger? Yep. Ever set a nigga up? Nope. Ever helped a brother out when he was down on his luck? Everybody got choices.
Actually, I would like to praise the system at work here, as it is much less black and white than the usual morality system in role-playing games like this. Instead of being presented with a good or evil choice, you are given choices based on behavior patterns, analytic, emotional, scientific, or kind-hearted responses to these dialogue trees. There are a few here and there that are obvious appeals to black and white morality choices, but overall, Andromeda succeeds in having a half-decent dialogue tree system, and BioWare should be applauded for their success here, credit where credit is due. Okay, let's not mince words, here's what we're all here for: the graphics. Mass Effect Andromeda is a beautiful game. It runs on EA's Frostbite engine, and in general it looks great. The environments, the lighting, the props, and pretty much everything is up to par with industry standards. Some of the interplanetary vistas are even downright beautiful. The big problem with Andromeda's visuals are the animations and character models. They aren't ugly. Well, maybe they are. But the real problem is that they are strange. They're awkward and, well, they're weird. The character models, at least the main cast, are all competent. Their textures are fantastic. Look at the skin on Ryder. That looks perfectly realistic. It looks great, but it's when she moves that things get a little horrifying. I mean, what emotion is any of this supposed to convey? Sarah Ryder's facial animations look like they're from one of those Gary's Mod videos from the early 2000s. Like somebody's just rigging up a character model and half-assedly making its face move. There are rumors and whatnot circling around that the head animator on Mass Effect Andromeda had no previous experience, or that they were not experienced in Frostbite and refused to learn. But those are just rumors. The evidence, what can be seen, the actual animations and character models in-game fall somewhere in the uncanny valley. Not unrecognizable as humans, but somewhere near the character models of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Potato faces, with the animation of a 6th generation game, but much more unnatural. I don't really know what's going on. The voice acting is great, so if you just close your eyes during cutscenes, everything will be okay. But that's not a real fix, is it? This game's characters are kind of terrifying to look at. My point is, you came to this video to see strange, uncomfortable, and ugly animations, right? I mean, why else would you be watching this? Every mainstream media outlet has talked about Mass Effect Andromeda and how it's Game of the Year, but we all know that there is an elephant in the room with the graphics. But we aren't far enough into this video for you to be clicking out, so stay to the end for a supercut of unsightly animations. I promise it'll be there, okay guys? The audio in Mass Effect Andromeda is passable by and large. The sound effects are generic sci-fi fare that you'll likely get tired of hearing, but they really don't grate on you very much. And the music is what I would classify as just okay. Sweeping and orchestral, but nothing catchy, nothing amazing. The voice acting, however, is a mixed bag, ranging from fantastic to robotic. Alec Ryder, for example, is fantastic. Unfortunately, he dies in the first act of the game. Sarah Ryder is likable and fun, but has trouble emoting with her voice in any capacity, and much of the main cast has the same problem. The supporting cast of characters, however, seem to be cast from a high school drama class. It is strange, it is weird, and it is a shame that the voice actors are so average to poor in a series which prides itself on story and emotional impact from a company like BioWare, which is known for its characters, for its story, and for its fantastic presentation. I don't understand it at all. All in all, Mass Effect Andromeda is completely disappointing. It could have turned into something great, but an apparent lack of effort and what seems like a lack of caring has turned this from a beautiful space opera with hints of Roddenberry that felt so close to the original Star Trek series that it makes me sad that it is in fact a mediocre slog through generic planets with ugly characters whose faces seem to have been stricken with some kind of palsy. Mass Effect Andromeda ventures forth, not so boldly, into a 2 out of 5. And there you have it, Mass Effect Andromeda, a game that I would classify as a bad game. However, there is some to love in it. If you've played this game, please leave a comment below. Tell me if you liked it, tell me if you disliked it, and tell me why. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
What? Kill me now.